Welcome everyone to the 10,000 subscriber Q&A special. Recently, my channel has crossed that threshold, and one of the ways I thought I'd celebrate is to answer questions submitted by my viewers. A few weeks ago, I uploaded a video basically telling you to ask a question in the comments section. I gave it enough time to let people who want to ask a question, ask, before I decided to start looking through them. Okay, and based on what I've got, it seems I have quite a bit of questions to go through. However, a number of them are similar / related enough that I can lump them together and give a single answer. Don't worry, I will read all of the questions and credit who wrote them. If by some chance I happen to mispronounce your name, I apologize ahead of time. As I am answering questions, I will be treating you to my gameplay footage of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. I got this the day it came out, and played it all the way through the story mode to the end. And this is what you're seeing on the screen right now. I've chosen Leonardo because he wears blue and it's to fit with the aesthetic of this channel. Though he's not my usual turtle to go through for these beat 'em up games. Regardless, it is a great game that really captures the spirit of the old-time Turtles beat 'em ups of the 90s. And you can tell the creators really love the source materials, as there are numerous references to the '87 cartoon, including getting the Turtles voice actors involved, as well as having other nods to the overall Turtles franchise. Now, as much as I would love to just talk about the game, this is a Q&A video, and I've got questions to answer. Alright, I got the questions pulled up, so here we go. Okay, Zippy Pie here has, why do you make videos? And Gaming Mania has, why do you want to make a YouTube channel? Well, I joined YouTube during that big YouTube craze of the 2010s, and I make videos because it's fun. It's a way to unleash my creative outlet. Sure, it's hard work recording and editing, and writing down a script, but at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I get the sense of accomplishment when I upload it onto my channel, and seeing people enjoying it. Okay, we got this one from Daryl H. My question is, why is it hard for IDW and or Sega to let Sally Acorn's Freedom Fighters join the IDW Sonic the Hedgehog comic books? If I were to guess, it's probably due to legal reasons and contract and stuff, all sorts of things that would give you a headache if you try to think about it. From what I've heard, the higher-ups at Sega, well, the Japanese division, weren't really fans of that Western influence, especially in the 90s, and nowadays they're trying to streamline the brand. And I remember Ian Flynn had to fight hard to keep Sally and the others in the comic book when Archie got rebooted, so that's saying something. I don't know, maybe down the line they could include Sally Acorn and the other Freedom Fighters, but they would have to be changed to fit into the world of IDW Sonic. So, who knows? Okay, Brazgar3 aka BJ3 asks, congratulations on the milestone. Question, who is your favorite character from the Sonic series? And then we have James Moss asking, what is your favorite female Sonic characters from the Archie series? Mark Gill has the question, who's your favorite Archie Sonic character from both the original and new timelines? And FIFA King 13 asks, who's your favorite IDW original Sonic comic book character? Alright, for the games, I would have to say Blaze the Cat. I mean, Sonic's fine and all that, but Blaze is no nonsense, gets things done pronto, and she's as fast as Sonic with fire powers. I hope one day Sega will release a new game where she's playable again. My favorite Archie Sonic character, I would have to say Nicole, especially once she gets her holographic form. And I'm talking both timelines here. For some reason, I've always liked characters that try to become more human, as it were. And Nicole definitely fits that criteria. And for my favorite IDW character, I'd have to say Whisper. She's got cool weapons, and I just generally like her as a character. A tragic backstory aside. Alright, Holly Adams has this to say. Hi, first time doing this, but I love your review videos. Heck, you were the one who properly introduced me to the IDW Sonic comics, so for that, thank you. Well, thank you. For my question, who's your favorite villain from the Sonic franchise, and why? Overall, I'd have to say Eggman. I mean, why not? He's a crazy man-child that builds robots in order to conquer the world. He has this thing that he can be goofy and serious at the same time, and that makes him dangerous. I mean, he puts little animals into robots for crying out loud. Though I do have to admit, from an aesthetic point of view, I like the villain Enerjack from the Archie comics, and I'm talking all incarnations. There's something about that Egyptian attire that's cool looking, as it were. So yeah. Okay, we got another group of similar questions. Callum Crane asks, how did you first get into Sonic as a whole? Next we have Eliza's World saying, congrats! How did you meet Sonic and Mega Man? Jason Fleming says, congratulations on reaching 10k subscribers. My question is, what Sonic game did you grow up with as a kid and got you into the franchise? And then we have Sebastian Movie Studios asking, when did you start reading comic books? Love your IDW Sonic recap videos, by the way. To answer all of these questions, let me tell you a brief story. When I was little, I went to my best friend's house to play some Sega Genesis. Yeah, my household was strictly Nintendo at the time. And there I would often play Sonic 2 and Sonic 3. And the more I played, the more I started to love those games. And it was Sonic 3 and Knuckles that cemented me as a Sonic the Hedgehog fan. Down the line, I would get my own Sega Genesis. It was also the same friend that introduced me to the Archie Sonic comics. I would often borrow issues from him. Don't worry, I did return them to him. I would start getting my own issues around the time of issue 39, the one where Sonic got roboticized. I saw this one day along with its special Mecha Madness at a Kroger's. Yeah, this was back when Kroger's and other stores were selling comic books, and that's how it all started. As for Mega Man, that one's a bit harder to pin down. I knew for a fact Mega Man 3 was my first Mega Man game, and I'll talk about it a little bit more when I get to my retrospective on that game. But yeah, Mega Man 3 was the one that cemented my love for the Blue Bomber, and it made me a fan of that franchise. Okay, from Justin Myers. Congratulations! My question, are you going to play Sonic Frontiers and do some gameplay on your channel? Yes, I will play Sonic Frontiers when it comes out. And as for gameplay footage on the channel, it won't be for a while. Essentially, now that I've reached 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to be starting my Sonic video game retrospective series, and Sonic Frontiers will be way, way, way in the future. Alright, we got a group of questions centered around crossovers. From Connor Garrett, do you think the IDW Sonic comics will have a crossover with other IDW comic franchises like Transformers, etc., since we've gotten so many references to other franchises in the comics? Then we have Benedict the Hedgehog saying, congrats on the milestone. My question is, would you ever like for Sonic to do a crossover with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and if so, through the comics or the games? Next is Last Guardian of the Floating Island saying, okay, here's my question. What DC hero would you like to cross over with the Sonic franchise? Mine would be a time travel adventure between Silver and Booster Gold. Crossovers. Well, that would depend on the circumstances, licensings and all that. I mean, the crossover between Sonic and Mega Man was, well, the stars were aligned there because, for one, Ian Flynn was writing both at the time, and two, there were enough things that were similar between the two franchises that they gelled together, especially with the first crossover. I don't know about Sonic and Transformers though. I mean, they both feature robots, so I guess it's possible. Though it may be harder because IDW is about to lose the Transformer license. Though it did not stop the likes of IDW Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from crossing over with the likes of Boom Comics Power Rangers and DC's Batman. Now as for Sonic and the Ninja Turtles, I don't know. I mean, I would like to see Tails and Donatello get along. Then there's Sonic and probably Michelangelo, Knuckles and Raphael interacting. I mean, that'd be interesting to see. And I don't think Eggman would gel well with the Shredder. Perhaps Baxter Stockman maybe? And the best way to have these two franchises cross over would be comic books, since IDW has the rights to both of them. But ultimately, it's Nickelodeon's and Sega's decision if they want to do a crossover. I'm going to go the easy route and say The Flash. Probably the Wally West version. I think he and Sonic would get along, but that's just me. Mega Crash the Hedgehog says, first off, congrats on the big 10k, and second, I know you're a big Power Rangers fan. Out of curiosity, what are your thoughts on the 2017 live-action Power Rangers movie? Never saw it. From what I've seen of the trailers, I wasn't interested in it. Sorry. Alright, speaking of Power Rangers, Young One asks, have you watched other Power Rangers seasons outside of Mighty Morphin such as SPD or Dino Charge, and will you continue to read the comics at some point? Actually, yes. I have seen all the way through to Dino Thunder, the one where Tommy Oliver's a teacher. And for the rest of the seasons, I had to rely on videos such as History of Power Rangers to keep myself up to date. Now, as for continuing to read the comics, technically I've never stopped. Now, if you mean going back and reviewing the issues, well, I would like to, but for the moment, I want to stick with mainly Sonic and Mega Man. Sorry. Okay, we've got another series of questions. Timothy asks, what is your favorite Sonic IDW issue, including miniseries, annuals, etc.? Also, congrats on hitting 10k subs. Next, we have Mafi or Mafi channel. Congrats on the 10k subscribers. My question is, what is your favorite IDW chapter or story arc? Then Grayler1, formerly Buzzard1, says, congratulations, I've been watching you since I was in middle school, and I'm glad to see how far you've come. My question is, what are your favorite story arcs from Sonic IDW and Archie comics? Next up is Sugarcap, what's your favorite Archie and IDW Sonic issue? And finally, Lord Adrian 1000 says, here's a question, which of the IDW Sonic comic issues did you enjoy the most? I bet it's the Metal Virus arc. Alright, my favorite IDW Sonic comics so far would be the Tango and Whisper miniseries. Yep, I said it. I mean, it's a fun little story starring two comic original characters. We get to learn more about Whisper's tragic backstory, and we see Tango mature a little throughout their adventure. I hope someday these two would become a team again. As for Archie, my favorite story arc would be the Eggman Empire arc. You know, the one where Eggman bombs Knothole into oblivion and captured our heroes? Well, most of them, leaving only Sonic, Tails, Amy, Knuckles, and Nicole to rescue them. There's something oddly satisfying about seeing Sonic lose for a change. Too bad we don't get none of that these days, having the heroes actually fail. I only say this because it makes the heroic comeback that much sweeter. Next up is Snowstorm the Snow Warrior. Congratulations! Which Sonic villain in the Archie series deserves redemption? The Sandblast Freedom Fighters, or any villain? Well, in my opinion, the Pronghorn Sisters. Yeah, I know they were only working for Eggman out of desperation because one of the sisters was sick, and she needed prosthetics in order to live, but I kinda want them to have a happy ending. And too bad outside of fanfiction we won't be able to see that. Okay, this next group of questions surround the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Blue Velocity 91 says, congrats, 10,000 subs. Since the game's subject is TMNT Shredder's Revenge, have you ever thought about reviewing any of the TMNT comics? Literally any incarnation of the Turtles, whether it's comic original or based off a cartoon. Next is Knothole Hub. My question, are you going to review TMNT comics and Sonic fan comics in the future? And then there's God's Little Princess asking, who's your favorite Ninja Turtle? Your favorite version of the TV series? And favorite comic book of TMNT? I would love to review the IDW TMNT comics. It pretty much pulls from all aspects of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The 87 cartoons, the Mirage comic books, the 2003 cartoon series, and even the Archie TMNT stuff. But I don't have the time at the moment. As for my favorite incarnation of the cartoon, I will always have a soft spot for the 87 stuff, but I prefer the 2003 series. It's a little darker, it's not static, meaning there's always progression, and I like the characterizations of these turtles a little better. Admittedly, I did not like the season where they went into the future and it became more lighthearted, but it was probably out of necessity because of the series' darker tones. But I'm glad it ended on a strong note with Turtles Forever, the crossover with the 87 series. Oh, and my favorite Ninja Turtle? Donatello. Now on the subject of Sonic fan comic reviews, there's Knothole Hub's question about it, plus this one from Marie Cecilia Gouillard Official. Sup Megabeatman, I'm Braz Neto, and I have one question. Can you make a review of Archie Sonic and Sonic fandom comics? It looks like this a bunch of fan comics literally. Plus, I'm just did follow you on your Twitter. You're a legend, man. I'm 1 degree fan of Sonic just like Amy, and Mario fan too. Okay, reviewing Sonic fan comics, I'm afraid that is out of the question. And that's because they're fan comics. Fans put time and effort into making these stories, and in a way it doesn't feel right to critique them. I only focus on things that I pay actual money to get, and it's official. Though that might change down the line. Alright, Mega John 34. How do you think IDW is handling the side characters like Silver, Blaze, and Tangle, for example? Overall, I think they're doing fine. It also depends on who's writing these characters, and how far they're willing to push these characters, given Sega's mandates. Though I do admit, I wish Shadow could have been handled better. Frost the White Lion asks, have you ever thought about making a what if series for your videos? Honestly, I do not think I would have the time to do so. Doesn't mean I won't do what ifs in general. What I'll probably do is, on certain reviews of Archie comics, especially with things that I'm not a fan of, I will give a quick what if scenario, but as a separate video series, I will say, no, sorry. Okay, Robin McCormick, or rather James M. asks, congrats on making it to 10,000 subs. My question is, what are you hoping to see in the Sonic Prime TV series since the show will be about exploring the multiverse? Well, to be honest, a whole lot of wacky things. I mean, if Sonic's going to other universes, I don't know really, because the concept art has a lot of things for Sonic to experience, such as Amy in the jungle, and all those different variations of Eggman. Honestly, I just hope it comes out, given that Netflix is having issues with animation at this time. Orbited Star asks, if you could save 3 characters from the Archie Sonic series and implement them into IDW without any interference or retaliation from any outside individuals, what 3 characters would they be? Similarly, Sean Full Dark asks, if you can bring another character from a different Sonic universe and slip it into the IDW universe, which character would you try and how would you do it? While I would have multiple characters I would love to do, the easiest one I feel I could try to do is Styx, which in my personal theory would be great to have her just be adopted by Whisper and Tangle, not just because I designed them specifically to be assigned heroes team, with Whisper becoming the flying character and Tangle of course being the speed character, with Styx being the power character. If you've ever seen a Badger fight, you know why, without rewriting too much of the character. PSS, if you only feel comfortable answering half of the questions, that's okay. While Styx may work in general, I mean it would be a shame for her to be limited to Sonic Boom, I'd say it'd be easier to import characters from the Archie continuity, and the 3 characters I would like to bring over to the IDW Sonic continuity would be Nicole, both computer and holographic form, Bunny, specifically her post-reboot self, and because I don't want to split up a good pairing, Antoine. Again, post-reboot Antoine. The 3 of them would fit pretty well within the restoration. I mean, Nicole and Belle could probably get along. And I would like to see a power couple in battle, especially if one of them is a cyborg. Continuing from Archie to IDW, there's Travis Herndon. Congratulations, my dude. My question is, what character or characters from the Archie comics would you like to see get a spiritual successor in IDW, like how Surge is a successor to Scourge? Well, I would say, create a new friendly AI similar to Nicole. Whatever this AI might be, it'll learn the value of, well, to lack of a better term, humanity and become more lifelike, I guess. And concept-wise, bring back cyborgs. I mean, that's one of the things I liked about Archie Sonic. There are cybernetic characters, especially in the post-reboot era, and how some of them were just victims of Eggman, did it voluntarily. Okay, next up, Sonar617. Congratulations on the milestone, and here's hoping to get even higher one day. And my question, have you ever read and or thought of reviewing other types of comic universes and series, aside from Sonic and Mega Man, such as Marvel or DC? Honestly, I don't go for the main stuff in comic form. I will watch other media such as the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the DC Animated Universe, but as for their comics, I haven't picked them up. And as I have said earlier, I am reading the Ninja Turtles comics from IDW and the Power Rangers Boom series. And as I've answered earlier, I'd love to review those series, but I'm going to stick with Sonic and Mega Man because, well, I've already started those series, and I just don't have the time. Okay, we got this from Warthog Power. Congratulations, Megabeatman. So happy for you, and here's my question. What are your 3 favorite animals? Well, first is the turtle. I mean, I like the aesthetic in general. Why do you think I got into TMNT in the first place? Second, dogs, because why not? And finally, ducks. I like ducks. Just watching them waddle around is fascinating. Alright, Kingdom Come. In your opinion, what is your headcanon on how Supersonic's invincibility and instant KO? Because some he doesn't have stuff like that just because they say it inconsistent. You honestly know more Sonic comic lore, so I really thought this would be the best question to ask. Hope you have a great summer. Well, to best answer the question, it's based on the medium. I mean, yeah, the classic Sonic games have Super Sonic getting KO'd thanks to getting crushed, and even Big Arms taking Sonic out of his super form. But, yeah, I'm not really an expert when it comes to Super Sonic in the comics. From what I can observe, it's basically whatever the writers make him do. Though in the Archie Sonic case, especially pre-reboot, you can say he's been blessed by a higher power. So, there you go. Speaking of super forms, we have this from Oreo Splash. Curious about your thoughts in the power scaling in Archie Comics super forms. We got Mogul, Sonic, Enerjack, Titan Tails, Scourge, etc. What is your idea of the most powerful tiers to the not as powerful super form tiers? Well, in that case, it'd be Titan Tails and Mogul from that two-part short story. And I can't believe I'm bringing this up. And then, let's see, Enerjack, it depends on which version. The original Enerjack, I would say be slightly higher than, say, Super Sonic. Knuckles Jack and any super form of Knuckles would be equal to that of Super Sonic at least. And then I'd put Super Scourge at the bottom because, as seen at the end of his story arc, the minute he powers down, he loses all of his strength. Okay, moving on to Triple Star 2118. Congratulations on hitting the 10,000 mark. I love your Sonic videos so much, you've worked so hard to earn this. If you don't mind, I have a random question for you. What are your thoughts on Lightning Lynx's tragic story from the Archie comics? Like, do you think it's better for him to be with the Destructics, even though they never truly explain why they want him back? I'm sorry this sounds stupid to you, but it's always bothered me that they never explain where they got their information on the Raiju from or considering Lightning Spiels. For all we know, he might have had a family or friends who really missed him. I just feel really sorry for him and wish we got a true conclusion for him. Thank you for your time and keep up the awesome work. Well, yeah, I think Lightning Lynx did have a tragic backstory, but at the same time, he has to follow the rules of the Raiju clan. And from what I've seen, if you're considered weak in the clan, you're pretty much booted out, no questions asked. And if Lightning did have friends among the clan, well, they would probably shun him. My opinion, of course. As for him being with the Destructics, I get the feeling it's more of how a bunch of outsiders and losers in their home community band together to form their own community. That's what I've seen. And yes, outside of fan comics and the like, we won't get a proper conclusion to this character's arc. So yeah. Alright, let's see. Dragfang37. How do you feel about issue 50 coming on Wednesday? Well, if you haven't already, go check out my review of issue 50 that's now on the channel. I have explained my full thoughts there. Aiden Hammonds asks, nice milestone. My question is, what do you think the Diamond Cutters, Bell, and or the Zeddy would be like in Mobius? Okay, mirror universe versions of these characters. I'd say the Diamond Cutters would still be mercenaries, but would prey upon the weak and innocent. Except for Mimic, who would probably break off from the group and join whatever heroic force exists in that world. Bell, a fully metallic wrecking machine, not unlike Metal Sonic. And the Zeddy? Yeah, basically they'd be nature-loving peaceniks. That's all I got to say about that. Split the cat. Congrats, really happy you reached this milestone. Question, best unused Sonic level based on concept art, in-game sprites, and theories based on what they might look like. I'm going to have to say Wood Zone because having a level in the trees sounds interesting. I know there are fan creations of the like out there, but I would just like to see it officially made. I would have said Sonic 2's Hidden Palace Zone, but that's kind of been remade. But that's actually been remade and placed in the game. So, yeah. Okay, next question comes from Edgar Castro. If you could make one change in the Sonic IDW series, what would it be and why? Well, this one's easy. Have Sega loosen the leash on the game characters. Yeah, it'd be nice to have the game characters have a little more freedom, especially Shadow, but at the same time, I understand Sega's reluctance to do so. They don't want another Archie Sonic Ken Pender situation going on, so Yeah, if you want to know more about that, Comic Drake did a really fascinating video on the subject. I suggest you check it out. Okay, Omar Mendez. My question for the 10,000 subs: will IDW make a comic adaptation of the upcoming Sonic Frontiers and or Sonic Prime? I think I've heard somewhere that they're keeping IDW Sonic and Sonic Frontiers kinda separate at the moment. Have the comic be its own thing and not do Frontiers right now because it'll spoil the game. Perhaps down the line they'll adapt Sonic Frontiers, but right now, no. Not even as a tie-in comic. As for Sonic Prime, only time will tell, really. It depends on how well the series does on Netflix. Though I would not be surprised if they did a miniseries or a big special as a tie-in to the show. Okay, we have Alex Pridham. Here's one I'm curious on. If the Mega Man comics, the ones from Archie, would come back in any way, would you like it to go back to where we left it? Have it like the Sonic IDW comics? Or have it with another Mega Man series like X, Zero, etc.? Pick up exactly where the Archie series ended. It had the perfect setup with the beginning of the Mega Man 4 adaptation, and then nothing. I mean, there was that one final issue which has Dr. Light experiencing all future game events, but then that's it. So yeah, if Mega Man were to return to the comics, have them pick up at Mega Man 4, and have them continue from that point forward. And if readers need to catch up, have the company who has the rights to the Mega Man comics re-release the old Archie series in trade paperbacks, so that people can learn more about this universe. Okay, we have Alex Field with, have you ever thought about reviewing, and I'm going to mess up the name, Ryo Takamizaki's Mega Man NT Warrior, aka Rockman.exe manga? As of right now, no. I've got a lot on my plate, and I don't want to add more things to my queue at this moment. Sorry. Alright, Crystal Frost 7. This may sound weird to ask, but what are your thoughts on Sonic characters having Pokemon teams? Are you against the idea or like the crossover idea? If so, then what Pokemon suits Sonic besides Pikachu the best? Sorry, it's technically 2, but I want to know. You don't have to answer the second one if you don't want to. Okay, confession time. I'm not that much of a Pokemon fan. I mean, I did play Gen 1 back in the day, but around Gen 2 I kinda dropped off and never looked back. Okay, that's a lie. I briefly picked it up one more time during X and Y, but then I dropped off again. So yeah, I'm not that familiar with the lore, or the hundreds of Pokemon that's available. But I'm sure there are fanfics of Sonic and Pokemon out there somewhere on the internet, and if I were to take a crack at it, I would see Eggman doing the exact same thing to the Pokemon that he would do to the little critters in his own world. Stuff them in robots to power his machines. Clueless and Lonely has this to say. For my question, how's your day? Well, my day's fine, thank you. Okay, we have another group of questions centered around one thing. Blue Flash asks, will you cover the Fleetway comics, aka Sonic the Comic? Then Yakir Chirnin says, what can you tell about Fleetway Sonic? I have only heard rumors. Then we have Lala5976 saying, will you ever review the British Sonic the Comic series? Amy is my favorite and I love her personality in there. As of right now, I am not going to review Sonic the Comic, not because I don't want to, it's because, again, I already have a lot on my plate. Besides, I want to clear out all the Archie Sonic stuff first. And there is still plenty of that to go through. It's the series I'm more familiar with since I grew up with it. Next up, Diane Weirs-Bicky. Congratulations on reaching 10k subscribers. As for my question, what is your preferred pathway for Shadow the Hedgehog? True, neutral. Why? Because I don't have to deal with those extra gimmicks to get either the true dark or the true hero pathway. You know, kill this many aliens, turn on this many generators, and so on and so forth. Straight shot to the end. Although the downside is I have to deal with all that Shadow Android nonsense, but what can you do? And besides, though all those scenarios aren't even canon in the end, there's that true story stuff, and the storyline of that game's a mess. Moving on to Cuba, if you could choose one comic series to continue after its cancellation/end, what would it be? OG Archie Sonic, Reboot Archie Sonic, Mega Man, Boom, or really anything outside of what you made videos on? You know, I probably should have paired this with the Mega Man question from earlier because Mega Man, I want it to continue. I mean, they set so many things up and not to see it fully realized in comic form, it's sad, really. I know it's ultimately a business decision, but still. If only. Electromagnetic Psychopath has this. What are your thoughts on Sonic Unleashed HD? Overall, I liked it. It was a fun ride, especially in the daylight sections, but I admit I did have a soft spot for the Werehog portions too. The only thing I really didn't like were those sections where you're on the tornado going from continent to continent, and occasionally you get attacked by Eggman's airship. For some reason, I just wasn't good at those sections. I'd rather have them not exist, or if they did exist, have them be like Sky Chase from Sonic Adventure. At least there I know what I'm doing. Okay, Rabbit Ears blog. Hey, congratulations on reaching 10k subs. My question to you is, what is the darkest Sonic the Hedgehog storyline you've ever read in either the Archie or IDW comics? Melvirus Saga, easily. I mean, seeing familiar game characters go through that? Wow. Shamex2 says, I like Granujo from iCartoons, Catalina movie. Can you do a video about Granujo, please? I've never heard of it, and chances are that would be a no. Sorry. Mysterious Girl 92 says, here's a question. If most, if not all, the characters in the IDW Sonic series were to find out that Sonic's actions, leaving Mr. Tinker alone in a defenseless village, as well as allowing Metal Sonic to find Eggman and restore him to normal, lead to the Metal Virus outbreak and everything that happened after that, how would they feel, and what would become of Sonic's relationships with everyone he knows? I think we got a little bit with that with Shadow and Espio during the Metal Virus arc, but generally speaking, I think they'd be mad at Sonic, but then once Sonic saves the day again, it'll all be water under the bridge. As much as we would like to have realistic consequences, I think Sega's mandates would keep Sonic from being a pariah among his peers. Z Haxorus says, question, are you aware that IDW did Godzilla comics before Sonic? Actually, yes I did, thanks to watching On Top of the Fourth Wall back in the day. Though I have not read them myself, though that might change since it's crossing over with Power Rangers at the moment. Okay, we have this from Philip Napoli. What animal do you think you would look like if you were part of the Sonic world? I'd be a turtle. If not, a dog. And if that's not available, a duck. Yeah, the three animals I've chosen earlier. Alright, let's see here. Donato Grez Bautista asks, congratulations for having 10,000 subscribers. My question is, what do you think a Walt Disney Sonic the Hedgehog film would be like if it was released back in the 90s or 2000s? Yeah, my best bet would be the 90s since it was peak Sonic the Hedgehog, and it was also during the Disney Renaissance, with stuff like Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and Lion King coming out. I'd say probably adapt stuff from the games, throw in some things from the SatAM cartoons. It would definitely have to be a musical, because that was the thing at the time. Probably more of a rock opera or something, I don't know. I could imagine a lot of things for Disney Sonic. Maybe have Sonic rescue the damsel in distress, either, say, Amy Rose or a new original character from Robotnik. I mean, there are so many ideas to go through, it would take too long to come up in this video alone. Okay, just a few more questions to go through. Rue Solaris says, if you weren't interested in Mega Man and Sonic, what would you want your channel to be about? I might not have a channel period, but if I did, the subject matter would either be Legend of Zelda because it's another franchise that I'm fond of, or if I went the non-video game route, I would dedicate this channel to my favorite sci-fi series of all time, Stargate SG-1. I love that series so much, I mean, yeah. Alright, we have this from Darnor Games. Did you know that Archie was supposed to write Nintendo comics? If they were made, what level of quality would you expect? I did remember Ian Flynn and Tracy Yardley pitching the idea, but it was rejected. But if it actually went through, I assume they would be working on it along with the Sonic stuff. I expect them to be of the same quality as the Archie comics when they took over from 160 onward. Respect for the lore, fun, and a chance for the characters to develop. Perhaps there's an alternate universe out there where the Nintendo Archie comics were approved. Okay, from Jared Koft. If you had to choose one new character who debuted in the IDW comics, who would it be and why? Okay, admittedly this one's a little vague since I don't know what the actual question is. I'm going to assume choose an IDW character to be part of the mainline games. If I had to choose one, Tangle, as I've said way back in my issue 4 review, her tail can be used in a multitude of ways, and it can kind of work with the Speedy Sonic gameplay. And finally, we have a last minute addition, courtesy of DJ B-Wise. What crossover would you like to see in IDW Sonic? I want to see IDW Sonic crossover with Archie Sonic. Probably post-reboot due to legal issues and such. But I kind of like to have a No Way Home scenario where multiple Sonics from different continuities meet up to stop a threat bigger than all of them. Whether it be one of the Eggmans or some other outside force. I don't know. Any excuse to have IDW Sonic, Archie Sonic, Sonic Boom Sonic, and even Movie Sonic meet up and interact with one another. Alright, I think that's all of them. If by some chance I didn't answer your question, I apologize. I didn't skip it out of malice. Chances are the YouTube automated system removed it before I can read it. So yeah, thank you for joining me. I hope you learned some things today while you watch me beat up some foot soldiers. As always, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell so you'll know when I upload new videos. And with that, have a good day everyone.